everybody, this is Travis and welcome to Razor Garage. Now today I'm going to be going over some video techniques for making your own ATV or UTV side by side, making your own riding videos, because as most of us don't have a professional film crew following us around all the time when we're out riding. You know, it's real easy to make your own ATV / riding videos. And first of all, I'd like to say, anytime that you're going to be out riding, make sure that make sure you have your boots on, and wear a helmet, and some gloves. And no matter where you're riding at, if you was just riding there that morning or yesterday or wherever, always check your area, because you know, a branch could have fallen down, something, or if you're somewhere you've never been, you could go over the top of the hill and there could be a high wall right there, and you're falling to your doom, and that just wouldn't be too fun. So you know, always check your surroundings. Ride around it real slow, walk it if you have to. Make sure that you're in a safe area before you go doing any riding or going fast or making anything. You know, check your surroundings. Now, you don't particularly need a lot of gear to make a video, any kind of video. Usually what I use, I got my iPhone 6. I have this iExpand drive that you just jam into the lightning connector, and you can record video directly onto this expand drive. Got a USB 3.0 on the end of it, and when you're done, you just unplug it, and you can plug it into your computer, and you can take all your videos straight off of there. Now, one thing though, if you're doing slow motion video on your iPhone, which they do pretty decent, and you can only do the slow motion video directly to the phone, and then you can transfer it onto this and then onto your computer. Now these do really nice slow motion. You can shoot, now it is 720p because this is an iPhone 6, but at 720p slow motion you can do 240 frames a second, but you can really slow that down then in your editing, and you can really get some nice smooth slow motion. And it's nice to have some type of action camera. Now this is just a cheap one off Amazon, and like I said, you don't need a lot of fancy gear. I took a piece of 1/4 inch all thread and I welded a little piece across to it. You can jam that right down in the ground, and you can put it wherever you want it. You can do, you know, you can move it around however you want. You know, that's just a cheap action camera. And when I get to showing some videos and some examples of how you can set up for your action shots, I'll show you the videos off of these. And it's also nice to have, if you have one, you don't have to have an expensive camcorder. Here in the shop, what you're looking at me right now on, this is a Sony HDR 240 with wide angle lens, and that's what I use in the shop. And for a lot of my tripod shots, when I'm riding, I'll set this camera up on a tripod, or I'll set the action camera up on the tripod, or I'll use this this 1/4" all thread. You know, if you want a low angle shot, jam that down in the ground. You could jam it down in the ground that far, you know, clean to here if you wanted to. So you could be that far off the ground, or you could even get one of them little tiny tripods and set that right on the ground. Or you could unthread it off of there and just set the camera on the ground. It's really handy to have. And you know, like I said, you don't have to have a super expensive action camera. Now, the audio off of these is not so great. So if you plan on using one of these, you're going to have to plan ahead as to what you're going to do about audio. You can either add some music in editing, or if you're using one of these in conjunction with another camera on a tripod somewhere, you can use the sound off of the other camera and mute this, because this is not going to be usable sound, especially if you're using it in this waterproof housing, which I highly recommend unless you want to destroy your camera. If you take it out of these and you try to use it and you get it wet, I don't believe it'll work anymore. So know your equipment, know its limitations, know what it can do. And now, yes, I know the name of the channel is Razor Garage, and you're seeing my quad here. The razor's over there, it didn't go anywhere. It's just easier to film this way here in the garage. As you can probably hear, it's raining outside. I was planning on doing this outside down in the Razor Garage riding area, but the weather is not permitting. So now we're going to get into some examples for setting up your shots. And we're going to start with we're going to start with the easiest ways to set up and to take your riding video. Well, for our first example, if you have somebody with you that can use the camera, or if you're using the camera, you just have a camera guy, somebody holding the camera, and they watch what you're doing, just like this. That was me taking the camera work of my wife, and then I jumped in the razor with her, and I was holding the action camera out the side. Well, I was holding it in front of me and then out the side, so I could get some good flashing action. I'll show you that now. Now that's you know, very easy camera work. That was just one camera, this little action camera. And now I'll show you another example. Another very easy way to set up is you just set your camera up on a tripod. This was shot with the Sony. Just set up your tripod and just ride in the field of vision of the camera. And now for a third example, which is also, I feel, is very easy. You use a combination of the two at the same time. is when you have your camera set up here, if you're going out of field of vision of your camera, then it's just going to leave a big blank space that you have to edit out and then start in where that camera can see you, or you can use a combination of the two. With your action camera, now this one's not set up that way, but I just hold it with your action camera mounted on your helmet, and then in your editing you edit the two scenes, and in your editing you edit the two scenes together to switch from one to the other, like this. And now I'll show you an example of using one camera to get multiple shots, multiple angles, and then in editing you piece it all together so you get one shot. Again, the opening sequence of the Razor Garage title, where I start out on the flat, around the corner, and up the hill, that was all done with one camera. That was done with that cheap little action camera, and you just move it around a lot. Now I'll show you the raw footage from that very small clip, how that all started out. I'll show you the raw footage. Do that again. wanted to add a lot, you know, a little bit of fluff to that shot for the original, my original vision or whatever of that shot, and then I ended up, well, I actually did use it in one video. And then I cut it down to what you see in the opening sequence, because I didn't need all that, well, wasn't a lot, but that little bit of fluff in the beginning, so I cut that down. And now we're going to move on to a more complicated multi-camera shot. Now, I'll show you the video now, and then I'll show it again, and I'll put some subtitles in for the different cameras that I used to make this. I think you know, it's just like, I don't even remember how long it is. Maybe I'll put like a stopwatch or something in it so you can see. It's not a very long clip, and it took me about 3 hours to set up and to do this clip with multiple cameras multiple times, because I did it, I had to like 4, 5, 6 times running my little loop, and well, you'll see, I start out here in the garage, and then I end up out behind the garage hitting my little jump. Now the point of the video is not the little jump, because it's not an impressive jump, it's just little, and I have fun with it here at home. The point of the video is to show you that you can do a lot of fluff in the beginning, and so you can get and edit it all together into your final product. So you have an opening sequence, if you will, a start, and then you go to your action, and then you finish. It's like telling a little micro story. So I'll show you that video now. And now, I'll show you that same video again. I'll subtitle it for each camera. And these are just some examples of the way I set up and the way I shoot video, because I love to ride and I love to take video. And I actually, I enjoy sitting down and editing my video and throwing it all together and making something out of it. I enjoy that. And, I know a lot of people do. I'm just showing you what I do, and I hope that gives you some idea of something you can do for a future riding video project that you want to do. Now you don't have, I'm not going to get into editing, because that could turn into hours and hours of explanation. You just throw all your video into whatever editing software that you prefer using and just sit down and do it. It might take you 10 minutes. If you're doing a short 30-second clip, it might take you 10 minutes. It might take you an hour, depending on your style and how you want to do it. But editing is a whole nother subject altogether that I'm not really going to get into. And have a good ride, have a good time, enjoy the summer, shoot a lot of video, make videos, share them with people, and I'm out.